Hey, Tom Fazzard from New Berlin, Wisconsin, coming at you from our family's cabin here in the southwestern part of the state. Doing a little relaxing this afternoon, but I wanted to cut a quick video here to offer some additional suggestions to you as you prepare for your next presentation. I attended a conference recently. It entailed 6 presentations throughout the day. Very good material, but you know me, whenever I sit in on a presentation, I'm thinking from 2 different perspectives. That of the attendee and another as a speaker and coach. During that day-long event, I came up with a list of, it was 6 different issues that I witnessed, experienced that I'd like to share with you as reminders to you develop your next presentation. Number 1, test the microphone. Initially we started off with a microphone at the lectern. For whatever reason it wasn't working, or it wasn't loud enough. Maybe it just needed to be cranked up. The first presenter didn't know that, and so she was going into her presentation. We could barely hear her throughout. Eventually the host got wise and supplied the presenters with a lapel mic. Just remember that as the presenter, it's your responsibility to know the working range of that microphone and to work within those confines, or adapt if you can. Turn up the volume, maybe use a lapel mic. But it's your responsibility to know that, so get there early to test. Number 2, don't simply read from your notes. This one gentleman had a bunch of notes up on the slide, happened to be the same notes that were in front of him, and he just sat there, or stood there I should say, reading them. Well, we can read quite well, thank you. Your script, or I should say your slide information, should be abbreviated. Just words or phrases such that when you glance at that monitor or your script, it triggers a whole paragraph of information that you want to give your audience. Don't just put out material, and read from it. Rehearsing, preparing, can help a lot, because then you start to memorize your material. Easy for you to say. Number 3, repeat the question. This is particularly true and useful in larger rooms and with larger audiences. Somebody asks you a question. Don't assume that everyone can hear that person. In fact, the people behind that person will not be able to at all, or very little. So as a courtesy to everyone in the room, repeat the question. You say something like, the question is da-da-da-da, and then answer it. The added benefit to you is that it gives you a few more seconds to formulate your answer. But the real value comes to the other audience members. Next, watch your verbal tics. In this particular seminar, they overused the word so. That was the big one that day. They'd start the sentence this way, so the data showed that, so then we did this research, and so we did this and that. Verbal tics by their nature are something we throw out, usually without even knowing it. We're just so used to it. The only way you do know is if someone says something, or you catch yourself. That's why I always highly recommend that you purchase a digital recorder. Record your rehearsals and all your presentations, then play it back. Evaluate yourself. Watch those verbal tics and help you to polish your presentation. Turn a very good presentation into an exceptional one. Number 5, use useful images. Now that may sound like kind of well, that's obvious, Tom, type of a suggestion, but we did have an example of that during this conference. The story is that the gentleman was trying to describe how to properly hold, grasp, and use a chainsaw. It's a safety-oriented presentation. Well, he described it. He did a good job of doing that. But up on the screen is this picture of a chainsaw. What he should have done was had a picture of someone, maybe himself, properly showing the technique. The old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, is so true. And anytime you use imagery, or you're thinking about it, ask yourself, how does this help me? How does this augment what I'm saying? Enhance what I'm saying? Does it? Or does it not? If not, change it or delete it. But always use useful imagery. And finally, try to incorporate a little humor in your presentation. Sometimes we just throw in an offhand comment that's a good chuckle. That's okay. Poke a little fun at ourselves. Maybe we did something funny during part of our research or in the development of the presentation. But especially for dry material, if it's, say, of a scientific or academic nature, it can be a little dry. Your audience, after about 20 or 30 minutes may start to, I don't say fall asleep, but kind of get into this rut. Liven it up on occasion. Toss in a little comment, a little quip to bring a chuckle and a smile to their faces. So there we have it. Again, my 6 suggestions for this video. Test the microphone. Don't just read from your notes. Repeat the question. Watch your verbal tics. Use only useful images and incorporate a little humor. Make your presentation even that much more powerful. Hey, if you have any questions or like some help on your presentations, look me up. Be happy to talk with you. Meantime, hope you're having a great week, a great weekend, whenever it is that you are viewing this video, and I'll see you next time. This is Tom Fazar from Wisconsin saying good luck on your next presentation.